guys. It's my regular Friday whip and chat. I'm going to try to do that on a regular basis every week. So I'm not very good at doing random things because I get so scattered. And I'm sure y'all know from last week's whip and chat that I do get scattered and chatty, and I go from one story to the next and then back. So I pulled up a 50-question getting to know you questionnaire. There is 50. I'm only going to go for an hour, so if we get through them 50, that's fine. If not, then we'll just end it early. And there might be some that I refuse to answer because it may incriminate me in a court of law. So, see what I've got done on Talitha Poem by Mandy Manzino from Diamond Art Club. Yes, this is a huge painting, and it's taken me a long time just to get this little bit done. But we're going to be like the turtle, slow and steady, and get there when we get there. So let me turn on my light pad. Sorry if you can't see the painting so much with that light pad, but I have to have it on bright because I have a vision problem even with my glasses, so it's got to be bright or I just can't see things. So I'm going to bake real quick, and then I'm going to diamond paint. Okay, here we go. Put in one diamond. First question is, tell us when you were born. I was born September 27th, 1967, in a small town called Purcell, Oklahoma. It's a small hospital. If you were lucky, there might be 7 babies born there a month. It's just a small itty-bitty hospital in a small itty-bitty community. What's your full name, and are you proud of it? My full name is Corina Marie Spoonamore. My maiden name was Reeves, and I am absolutely proud of my name. The third question goes into, are you named after someone? If yes, after whom? So, that goes on with the second question there of my name, if I'm proud of it, named after somebody. My mother named me Corina after an old song called Corina, Corina. There's a lot of people that don't know that song. We said it is an older song, so most people don't know of it, but it was my grandpa's favorite song. So she named me after that song. And my middle name, Marie, is special to me because it was my dad's mother's name. She had died before I was born. Matter of fact, my dad was 15 when she passed away. So him and my uncle, which was older than my dad, they pretty much took care of themselves after that. They worked and, provided them a place for them to live in, to eat, and, they got by. So I'm very proud of my names. Trying to get my diamond in here in my three-placer. I'm struggling a little bit with my three-placer, but I'm getting better because this is so darn big. Okay. Do you love playing any sports or just watching it? I actually enjoy playing sports. In high school, I played every sport that the school provided, basketball being my favorite. I played basketball, softball, volleyball. I ran track, and I did pretty well in sports. I was a very sportsy girl. I did have some good accomplishments in school over my sportsmanship. Like my sophomore year, I was in the top 50 in the state on scoring. And this is my sophomore year. Nobody that young had ever been in the top 50 in the state before me. So that was something that was a very proud accomplishment that I had. I had OU Scouts, which is the University of Oklahoma. I had scouts looking at me my sophomore year. So, like I said, I was pretty good at sports. Not wanting to brag, but I was, and it's not in a bragging manner. I hope y'all don't take it as that, but the question was, sports, and I was pretty good at it. In track, I had also my sophomore year, I had placed third in the state in the shot put. So that to me is another good accomplishment in my sports career in high school. Which is better, basketball or baseball? And of course, my answer is going to be basketball. Another thing about basketball, my freshman year, they had tryouts for the high school team because the high school team they had enough players, but they didn't have enough in reserve in case somebody got hurt. And, when you're in high school, as in with college, you're only allowed to play so many hours a week. So if you played too much on your high school team, you couldn't play as much on your freshman team. So I did make the high school team my freshman year. I played freshman and high school basketball the same year. I played quite a bit of high school. I played and started, but I didn't play as much because, of course, it affected my freshman basketball. So I love talking about the good old days. Well, Who's your favorite musician in the 21st century? I don't listen so much to the radio anymore. I used to have to listen to music every time I left the house because I had a hard time being around people and in a crowd. It made my anxiety way high. So one way to deal with that is I put in headphones and listen to music. And I don't know if they're still popular or if you consider them 21st century, but I'm a big Coldplay. I love Coldplay. Coldplay and I can't think of the group, but it's the one with Adam Levine. I'm going to kick myself for not knowing his band name because as soon as I finish this, I'm going to remember it. They were on the halftime of the Super Bowl. And they had that new song out that's so pretty. I know y'all screaming at me. It's so-and-so. I wish I knew. Wish I could remember. I should have read over these questions before I started them. So I could go back and look up some of the things that I forgot. Oh my God, that's going to bug me. It's going to bug me. It's going to bug me. It's going to bug me. Anyway, I'm sure many of y'all know who I'm talking about. Adam Levine. Adam Levine. He's on The Voice. If I can remember between now and the time we get off, I will mention it. Okay, do you have children and how many? Yes, I have children. I had 4 children. My oldest being a girl, my second one being a boy, my third and fourth one were girls. How many do you want to have? I don't want to have any more. I would have loved to have more children, but between my husband's other 2 kids, it was just, I should have married a richer man so I could have had more babies because I'd have loved to have had more babies. I enjoyed the pregnancies. I just enjoyed pregnancy altogether. It was just something unbelievable to create a living being like you do. It just amazes me. I love it. And 50 years old, no, I'm not having any more. Are you married or single and why? I am. I'm both. I've been married for 29 years. I will be married 30 years, June 20th. Me and my husband have been separated for the last 2 years, mainly because of my mom. My dad passed away. She couldn't be by herself anymore. She didn't want to go into a nursing home, and she didn't want to move in with anybody. So the only plausible was for somebody to move in with her to help take care of her. So I was that go-to person. There wasn't very many options family-wise of somebody else that could do it. Everybody else worked or had small children or just getting married. It just wasn't plausible for anybody else to do it but me. So I'm not saying I got stuck doing it. I love my mom to death. But I know we'll be back together. My mom said she would never move again, so we're in a 2-bedroom apartment. So I don't know how long we'll be split up, but we see each other all the time. Matter of fact, he's remodeling the house. Finally getting the kitchen I want to have. So, that's a good thing. He's getting stuff done that he couldn't be doing if we were at the house. So, who knows? God will be the decision maker there. But, yes, we do love each other. We want to be together. He comes over here. I cook for him a lot, and we go for walks, and sometime I'll spend the night over there just to get away from here when I know my mom's okay. Sometimes my sister will come over here and stay with her, and that'll give me time to go spend with my husband, and it's all good things. I don't understand that question. Are you proud of your points in high school? I have no idea what points are in high school. I know there's credits in high school, and credits. I was happy. I don't know what else to say about that. It says, do you want to have a business? Which business do you want to have and why? I do not have a business. I do not plan to have any business at this time of my life. I think it's just too much to take on with my mental health, my mom. It's just not feasible. But if I did go into any kind of business, it would be a restaurant. Some of y'all know that I went to culinary school. So I do have a associate's degree in culinary arts. So we did a mock-up business or mock-up restaurant in school, where we created the restaurant we would have, if we could build our business right away. And mine was a bakery. I wanted a bakery because I love baking. So that was my mock-up. I would have wanted a bakery to sell, baked goods out of the front window, have a little dining area, coffee, usual things that, come in a bakery. So that would have been the business that I'd have wanted if I'd have ever started one. And that was something that I was going to do just soon after culinary school ended. My life kind of fell apart, and so It just didn't get going. Never went off the page. Stayed in a book. I still got the book. That was a lot of work. We had to take each recipe, each ingredient that was in a recipe, and we had to break down the cost of everything that went in a recipe. Let's say it had a teaspoon of salt in that recipe. We had to take the bag, the poundage of the bag or the ounces, and we had to figure out how many servings we could get out of that package at a 1 teaspoon rate to figure out how much a teaspoon of salt would cost for that recipe. We had to break down every recipe, every ingredient. Yeah, lots of work. So, yeah, I've kept it. Prices I'm sure have gone up, so I couldn't do anything off that part of it. But a lot of my recipes are still there. And these recipes had to be some of the recipes that we done in class that we did. We'd get like a mystery box, and we had to create something out of that so we could use like that recipe, that we created to, put in our book, stuff like that. So that is my business, if I'd had it. What is your most favorite scene from a movie? I hope this doesn't make anybody mad, but because I'm going to use some profanity here, so anybody that don't want to hear it, cover up for just a minute or two. But it's from G.I. Jane, Demi Moore. She had just been beaten up by her Master Chief, and she gets up and she tells him to suck her dick. And it's just the funniest thing ever. Why is it funny? I don't know. I like the meaning behind it, about women being in the military and being treated equally. So I think that was the part I liked about it, because she was proving a point that, women did deserve to be in the military, and they did deserve to be in special ops. If they could do the requirements of what the school entailed, yes, women should be able to do that. So that's one of my favorite scenes, just for the fact of, what I just said. So that's my favorite scene. Okay. Do you love snakes? Which one's your favorite? I have no favorites because snakes scare the heebie-jeebies out of me. I do not like snakes. I have never liked snakes. And will I ever, never will love snakes. They're in that same category as spiders. They can all disappear off the face of the map, and I would not have any problem with it. Please tell me which one is your favorite, old school rap or today's new generation rappers? Excuse me, I had to get a drink here. I would say I preferred more of the old school rap. Like Will Smith and his DJ Jazzy Jeff and whatever it is. I don't know if many of y'all remember, Will Smith and him rapping before, he had his TV show. But I do like Eminem. A lot of people rag on me for liking Eminem as a rapper because he's a white guy. I don't like him because he's a white guy. I like his music. I like, he has a lot of purpose behind his music. And he does a lot of expressions to his music, and I like that. I can relate to some of the things that he raps about. So, yes, I'm still trying to think of Adam Levine and his group because it's going to bother me. So that's my rap. How tall are you? Have you ever dreamed of being taller? I am 5'7", and that's a good height for being a woman. But me wanting to be a college athlete, I would love to have been around 6 foot tall, just for having the tallness for college ball. Had I made it to college, I don't know if I'd have played as much because of my height. So that was one thing I wanted, was to be taller. My mom told me my freshman year I probably wouldn't get any taller, and I cried. I want to be tall. So, what's your favorite number, and please tell us why? Well, I really don't have a favorite number anymore. I did have a favorite number. It was a number 8. And me and my family were big NASCAR nuts. I mean, we watched it every Sunday. We've taken trips down to Daytona, Florida for the Daytona 500. And Dale Earnhardt Jr., he raced under the number 8, and he raced under the number 88. So that was my favorite number because that was the number he drove. That was the car number he drove. My first trip down to Daytona 500, he placed second in that Daytona 500. Michael Waltrip actually went in it, which was in a Dale Earnhardt car. So I don't know if y'all don't know anything about NASCAR. Y'all don't know anything about the Earnhardts, but Dale Earnhardt Sr. was big in NASCAR, and when he died, his son took his place, and he was good in racing. He just didn't win like his father did. And then he retired 2 years ago, so I quit watching it so much. It's like your favorite ball player retiring. You don't know if you want to watch it so much. I don't know. That's me anyway. Let's see how long we've been going. Right at 30 minutes. It's hot in this room with the door shut. But my mom's kind of deaf, so the TV's like blaring really loud, so I have to shut my door. And because of the way this vent is in this bedroom, it gets hot. And my vape batteries just went out, so no more vaping for the next 30 minutes. Okay. Do you have a fear of anything? If it's not secret, please tell us what you fear the most. I don't know if I want to answer that. Because I hate to tell people, yeah, I might be 51 and being afraid of the dark, which I am. That's my biggest fear, is being in the dark. I'm not going to go into why I'm afraid of the dark, but like I said, it might sound funny, but I have to have a light on at night to get me through it, and I still get woke up a lot. Things things that I hear, see. Okay, I got to go on the next question. I can't answer any more of that. Where are you working right now? I'm not working. I'm a housewife slash caregiver, I guess you can say. So I do work. I hate it when somebody asks you if you work and, oh no, I work at home. Well, you don't work. That's not a real job. Well, yeah, it is. It's a real job. It's a job being a wife, a mother, taking care of a household, taking care of an elderly person. It's a job, and it's hard to do. If people had jobs like that every day, there'd be a lot of people quitting because they couldn't handle it. It's so much work. And you women out there that know what I'm talking about, give me a little amen there. And that's still bugging me about Adam Levine. And I will look this up before I get off of here. It's bothering me. Have you ever dreamed of being a successful lawyer? No. 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 No, no, no. I was never going to be, if I went to school, I would have never done anything as a lawyer, as a doctor. I was hoping to go to school and be a ball player, but teen pregnancy, I screwed that up for myself. But I did want to go to school in sports medicine. So it would have still been sport related. So I could have probably stayed in school and still played basketball, still trying to get that scholarship. But I made my bed and I lied in it. I had taken my GED and quit school my junior year. I was held back a year, so you can take your GED and pass it the date of your original graduating class. So I was held back in the second grade. So my junior year, I was able to do that. So I took my GED test the beginning of my junior year. I was actually in school for 2 months. And I only went to Votech to study for my GED test, and I did that for 2 months. My first beginning of my junior year, and passed it. Quit high school and went to work. I wasn't going to be one that let my parents take care of everything. I wish now I would have stayed in school and continued to play basketball, because I could have played my junior year, because I had my baby over the summer months of my sophomore year. So I didn't miss any basketball at all. I got pregnant right after basketball season and had the baby during the summer, so I was all ready to go my junior year. So I wish now I'd have stayed in school and played, and maybe would have been able to continue, my athletic career. But who knows? I might have not have gotten any kind of scholarship or anything, but we'll never know now. What actor is your favorite? Al Pacino or Robert De Niro? I guess I'd have to say Al Pacino, because as soon as I read that, the first thing I thought of is say hello to my little friend. And I'm bad at impersonations, but again, he did that in a movie, Scarface. Yay, I remembered something. Scarface. So I'd say Al Pacino. Where do you want to travel? I have 2 places I want to go to. I want to go to Alaska. I want to see the big, they have a whale watch thing every year at a certain time, and it's when the whales are spawning or something, and I forget what they call it, but they're like spot diving or something. I want to go and watch that. And then I want to go to Australia. And the reason I want to go to Australia is, I don't know if y'all remember him, but Steve Irwin, he was from Australia, and he was the oh crikey guy. He'd always say oh crikey, and he fought alligators and all that. Well, if y'all remember him, he had a zoo in Australia, and I want to go to his zoo. His wife and children now have a show on Animal Planet, and they replay a lot of his older shows now. So that's why I want to go to Australia. So, which ocean is your favorite and why? I have no idea. I've only been to one ocean, and that was the oh no. Have you ever been to Europe, and where? Nope, haven't been there. That'd be a good place to travel, though. Do you love history? Did you have high grades in history class? History class was one of my favorite classes. I loved the I love the just any of the oh man, see, I have a hard time getting out what I want to say. So this is one reason why these whipping chats are so hard for me, because since I've had, the electric shock, it's hard for me to remember things. And one day I'll remember it, and the next day I might not. So I have a lot of problem concentrating and getting across things that I want to say. So that's why these whipping chats are so hard for me. But I'm going to continue to try to do them. When my daughter tells me, hey, Mom, you probably should stop them, then I'll probably stop them. But I'm trying to give it my best go. But sometimes answering these questions, it's just like one day I can remember something and the next day I can't. And I have a hard time getting out what I'm trying to say. It's like this history question. I love I love my Nefertiti that I got from Diamond Art Club. I loved it before I got it. I loved it when I got it, and I loved it when I finished it. Beads sticking down here. So I love the Egyptian times, the Cleopatra times. I love the Napoleon times, King Henry, all that good stuff. And yes, that was one class I was good at. The class I was bad at was math. I sucked in that class, but I passed it barely. Got by just enough to where I could still play sports. You had to have a certain average to play sports. So, yeah, that was me in math. Only did what I had to do because I sucked at it anyway. Anyway, let's get this next question. Which one do you prefer, George Washington or Thomas Jefferson? Maybe George Washington. Yeah, don't ask me why. Because I couldn't figure out how to explain that one to y'all. Way over my head. Way over my head. I'm not getting into politics. I'm not going to answer about Barack Obama, George Bush, Trump. I'm not going there. I'm not doing it. Okay. Can you describe yourself in 3 words? I don't think so. Let's go. Crazy. Sporadic. And a goofball. That's me. It's me. It's me. It's Ernest T. Okay. Who you admire most, mother or father? I was a daddy's girl. I was just the out type person. I wanted to be outside, and my dad was always outside working on his trucks or working on things, and I wanted to be right there by him doing what he would let me do. Being a girl wasn't what, back in them days. I'm not saying way back when. I'm just saying, it was more popular for the women and the girls to be in the kitchen, cooking, cleaning, sewing. That wasn't me. I was fishing, I was hunting, I was dirt bike riding, I was climbing trees. That was me. And anything my dad would let me do outside with him, I just loved it. What was funny is my brothers hated doing what my dad wanted them to do, and I had to be there just as much as he would let me be there. So my dad died about, my daughter's been gone my dad's been gone for about 8 years now. Yeah, just turned 8 years. So, do you have any siblings, and how many? Yes, I have 3 siblings. I have an older brother. He's on wife number 3, and he has 2 kids, one from each wife. Oh, his first wife, they didn't have any kids. This was shortly out of high school, one of those things. I don't know very many out of high school marriages that has worked. I know they're out there, but none that I'm aware of. I have a younger brother. He has been married twice. He's got twin girls from his first marriage. One of the girls just had her second child, little baby boy. So I've got another niece and nephew, or another nephew. And my oldest brother's daughter is having her first child, and she's having a boy. So I'm going to have another nephew. How many books do you read during summer vacations? I really can't read anymore because of my eyesight. I have tried video books, but because of the way my brain works, I can't comprehend the words that are being read. It's just the way my brain works now. Can't describe it. So I just don't get to read anymore. I used to read. I spent nothing but reading for like 5 or 6 years, and I think maybe, that damaged my eyes some. Are you a technology lover? If not, why? I don't like technology. I don't know how to use technology. I've got a smartphone. I text. I call. It holds my numbers, and that's about all I do on it. I can record on it. My daughter had downloaded the songs that I liked, so I didn't have to do that. She put together my opening and closing deal on my YouTube channel, and she showed me how to put them together with a video, but I don't know how to edit the video, so all I do, click on a couple buttons, and it will download to YouTube, or it'll download and then I'll download it to YouTube. So, or I actually put the video together, it downloads, and then it's got to download to YouTube. I don't know, something like that. I don't do much to it. I just click, 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 wait for it to do what it's doing and hit another button. I couldn't even tell you what. I just know. That's my technology lesson of the day. And I don't know the difference between Windows and Mac because I don't care. My daughter picked out my laptop. It's actually a laptop iPad. It disconnects from the keypad and I can use it as a laptop. So I like that. Who's your favorite female YouTuber? Of course, that would be Mrs. Coffee for her diamond painting videos. And who is your favorite male YouTuber? My favorite male YouTuber, his channel name is I'm Brandon Ferris. And it's spelled all in one word. And he puts out like one video a day. And it's all over random crap. But he's so funny when he does it. People send him gifts and he unwraps them. And then some of the crafts he'll try to do. And he actually does unboxing videos to where he will video him unboxing these gifts. He put out a video, I think it was like a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago. Somebody had actually sent him a diamond painting. So I had commented on it for him to do it, that I'd like for him to see him do it. And right after I posted mine, I was reading other people's comments, and Miss Coffee had commented on him too. So I thought that was funny. She watches his videos too, and I think he's hilarious. I like listening to him. When I first found him, I had to go back and watch just about every video he put out. In the beginning, when he first put out videos, he put out videos like Google Translates, and he'll put in something in English, have it translated into another language, and then back to English, and you get the bad translations there. And so he'll go through making a recipe off this bad Google Translate. That's the best I can describe it, but he's funny. He's hilarious. You'll need to go watch him. His channel name's I'm Brandon Ferris. That's one word. How long? 53 minutes. So, how do you feel right now? I feel anxious. It's still bothering me that I can't remember the group that Adam Levine is in. Can you remember the first time you felt angry? No, I can't. Can you remember the first time you laughed? No. I'm sure I was an infant child. Who's your favorite stand-up comedian and why? My favorite is, she doesn't do much stand-up comedy much anymore, but it's Ellen DeGeneres. I just loved her. She's so funny. She's just awesome to watch. Which Home Alone movie is your favorite? I think that would be the first one. I think the first ones are always better. Sometimes the trilogies just aren't good enough as the first ones. The only thing I can say about that, it would be the Twilight movies and the Harry Potter movies. I think them got better with time. More time went on, the better they got. But I liked them all. Um, when was the light time you cried? I think that's last time you cried. Um, Probably 5 days ago. What was the reason you cried last time? I'm not going to answer that. Do you know where you'll be in your career in 10 years? Um, Probably be in my own nursing home, because I doubt if one of my children would actually quit their job to take care of me. So, yeah, maybe my youngest daughter, maybe she'd arrange somebody to come into the house and take care of me. I hope that'd be the case. I've worked in a few nursing homes as the dietary manager right out of culinary school, and I liked my job. I just didn't like the way, some patients were being treated. I had to report one of the nursing homes I lived in, because on New Year's, the manager allowed the patients to, she brought in alcohol, and the majority of them patients are on some kind of sleep medication, and you can't give alcohol to anybody that's on any kind of psych meds, sleep meds, anything like that, because it deters their sleeping. They'll quit breathing while they're sleeping. So I reported her, and she got fired. And then the person they hired in her place wasn't any better, so I quit. I just can't. I hate to see people in pain, and people that's in nursing homes. The ones I worked in, they were, they weren't in very good shape. Most of them, they were the older generation. It wasn't any of the newer generations. It was a lot of, people in their 80s and 90s. We're just about done, and there's only 3 more questions left, so I'm going to do something real quick. And y'all might laugh at me, but I don't care. It's bothering me. And Maroon 5, Maroon 5, Maroon 5. Go Maroon 5. Yay, I love Maroon 5. I love Adam Levine. And I stuck my iPad on the sticky part of my picture. That's good. That's good. Well, I don't know. I did get a little bit done in that hour. I don't know if y'all can see this. I'm going to try to let me see if I can take off the iPad and let y'all see this part of the purple. This is all purple and pinks, and it's just gorgeous. Here's Jesus, and he's facing the girl, and this is his robe, and it's done all in pinks and violets, different shades of purples. There's like 4 shades of purple in here, and I wish y'all could get a better look at it. But the color in this is just so gorgeous so far. I'm so tickled with it. That's it for today. I'll find something to do next Friday or Saturday. I don't know if I'll find another tag, or depends on what goes on this week. I might talk about my grandbaby some. That's it. So I guess I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.